Hello, you are watching It All Starts with a Dream talk show, and I'm your host, Alika Karpova. As always, topic of our program is dreams. In our show, we prove that dreams come true. Action is needed in order to succeed, but most dreams are reachable. Here, entrepreneurs and professionals talk about their dreams, share their life experiences, incredible stories, and secrets of success. You can watch the previous episodes of our show at itallstartswithadream.net. Today, we will talk about two great professions related to children: kindergarten teacher and principal of the school. My mother spent 35 years teaching kindergarten and first grade in Russia, and she taught me a lot how to interact with children of young age. It is hard work to be a kindergarten teacher, but also interesting and rewarding in a way. We will learn more about it from our guests: Sam Elliott, kindergarten teacher, Rosemary Elementary School, Campbell District.
Hi, how are you?
And Brian Schmaedick, principal of Rosemary Elementary School, Campbell District.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Brian won the Principal of the Year in Santa Clara County last year. Award was given by Association of California School Administrators. Also, in the studio, I have my helpers today: Kristina Karevsky-Karpova, our little star, Rosemary Elementary School, kindergarten.
Hello, how are you?
And Sofia Yetka, our young generation, Westmont High School.
Hello.
Brian, Samantha, we have a tradition here. Kristina usually starts the interview. She prepared a wonderful question for you. Kristina, go ahead, honey. Ask your question.
What was your childhood dream?
Brian, go ahead, start.
Well, that's a great question, Christina. My childhood dream was to be like my dad, and my dad was a realtor, and he sold people houses, and so I just always thought he played such an important role for so many families. He would take them around looking at different places and showing them just all the places, trying to find just the right house for them. And so it was something that I thought, wow, what a great way to serve people and help people. And I really thought I was going to be a great realtor someday. That was my dream.
Is it related somehow in what you do right now, a little bit?
Oh, very much, very much. My work is about service, right? And realtors are also serving the people that they work for and that they're working for to find a home. And so my job, it's all about supporting teachers, supporting parents, supporting the children. And it's very much a service job, and so it's real closely tied to what my dream was as a young boy.
Okay, wonderful. Samantha?
When I was younger, I wanted to be an artist or a chef, and I just loved taking bits and pieces and creating things, whether it was with food, with random things from my refrigerator in the kitchen, or art. I did a lot of painting, sculpture, collaging, and that still continued to this day. And I feel like I still get to do that a lot, in kindergarten, so it's great.
So you do different projects with your children in class?
Definitely, yeah. We do a lot of art projects, we do cooking projects, and really kindergarten is about putting all those pieces together, whether art or cooking or math or learning a new language, and putting it all together and having fun with it. So I feel lucky that I get to do what I love, which is, creating things and helping students learn. And
in the next question, we will talk a little bit more about that, because actually the next question is like, what was the favorite things to do in the childhood for you, Samantha?
Like I said, art was definitely my favorite thing to do. I grew up in Santa Cruz, so we lived really close to the beach. So if I wasn't creating art in my backyard, I was usually at the beach or playing with my dog. Going on lots of hiking and biking with my family. So being outdoors and creating art was definitely my favorite parts of growing up.
Okay, what about you, Brian?
Oh, sports. I just loved playing sports. I had two brothers and a sister. We were all very close in age, and a lot of neighbors, a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and we had a big field. We'd all play football in and play baseball there, and my parents put up a basketball court for us, so we'd play there. And just every day, baseball, basketball, or football, all year round. So we just really loved it. Till we got old enough to actually play on teams, and then we continued to do it through the schools. And so, big part of our lives growing up.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Oregon, in Eugene, Oregon. And so.
Did you have a big family?
There were two. I have two brothers, an older brother, and then a younger sister and a younger brother. But all four of us are within 5.5 years. And so, my mom at one point had four children, and the oldest was 4.5 or 5 years old. So we're all very close in age.
Was it a small city or town?
It was a city of about 100,000 people in Oregon, but we lived right on the city limits, and so behind our house it was all fields and forests, and we lived in a neighborhood, but beyond us there was big creeks and big fields, and so we spent lots of time playing out in the woods and in the fields and turning over rocks and looking for lizards and snakes and playing in the creek looking for salamanders and frogs, and so it was a great place to grow up. A lot of places to ride our bikes, and a lot of places just to adventure and
freedom to run and
freedom to run. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Were your parents teachers?
Well, as I said, my dad's a realtor, but he did teach for the National Association of Realtors, and so he traveled around the country teaching. So he sees himself in many ways as a teacher. My mom was a registered nurse, and so she worked in surgery as a profession. So she worked in the hospital and assisted the doctors in surgery. So, but they were certainly my first teachers.
What about some other relatives? Teachers?
I had none of my uncles or aunts in my immediate family were teachers. No.
What about you, Samantha?
My grandma was a teacher. She taught at the elementary school level for many years down in Southern California. And then she got her PhD, and she taught some English as well at the college level at California University Fullerton.
So she influenced your decision
definitely
to become a teacher?
Yeah, she was very artistic and musical, and was very, she inspired me to be a teacher in many ways, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. How it happened with you that you became principal?
My path to teaching was a little accidental in some ways. I was married in 1995, and in 1996 the state of California changed the laws and wanted to have 20 students per classroom in kindergarten through 3rd grade, and so there was a great need for teachers at that time, because before that there were 30 or more students in a class. And so I had been working for Hope Rehabilitation, supporting developmentally disabled adults at the time, and my wife, who's the best teacher I know, who I really admired as a kindergarten teacher herself for years, talked me into going to a job fair, and so I went there, and because I'm fluent in Spanish, at the time there was a great need for Spanish-speaking teachers, and was offered a position, and quickly after becoming a teacher, I spent the years teaching 1st grade and 5th grade, and then started studying to get my master's degree so I could be an administrator.
Nice. We'll talk about degree a little bit later, but Sophia has 2 questions for you as well. So, Sophia.
Since I'm a high school student, I have a question. What did you think of who you want to become when you were in high school?
Well, when I was in high school, I, again, was really into art, and I was the editor of my high school's newspaper. And there was a brief moment I thought I might want to go into, publishing or working at a newspaper or journalism. So when I started college, that was kind of what I had in my mind, was either art or journalism. But I quickly went off to doing art. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I was at that time still thinking of following my dad's footsteps into his business. But I did also have a real love for writing. In elementary school and middle school, I really started to love writing, and so I thought of myself as someone who would eventually be a writer and maybe writing books. But so at that point, but it's still I think my main profession of choice at that time was to follow my dad into his business.
Also, how does it feel to deal with children? How does it feel to work with children?
How does it feel? I mean, every day feels great. I love my job. It has its ups and downs, but seeing a kid smile because of something you're doing, or because you help them learn something, or you help them feel better, it's just really heartwarming feeling. It's makes you feel good, and so I've always enjoyed working with children because it's just so much fun. Yeah.
I think working with children is a privilege, and it's a real gift that we have a chance to dedicate our lives as professional educators to working with kids and supporting them, and as Samantha's saying, just to finding ways to connect with students and motivate students and help them kind of become what they dream of being. I think it's really is a privilege, and it's hard work, and it's a challenge every day, but it's certainly it's a great honor to get a chance to do that professionally.
You mentioned that it's a challenge. What's the biggest challenge actually to work with children, Brian?
I think helping children understand sort of the growth mindset, understand the sense that they can, through hard work, change the direction and the possibilities for their own life. That they aren't just born with a brain that's set in stone and it's not going to change, but they, with hard work and persistence and a commitment, they can learn anything that they want to do and they can fulfill whatever their dream is. And I think that's difficult because I think a lot of our understanding as a society is that we're kind of set, and maybe I'm good at math and maybe I'm not, but there's not much I can do about it. But the research shows now that the brain is elastic and can change with the right inputs and the right commitment by the individual. So
Interesting. Samantha, what do you think?
I would think it's knowing all my students are different. They learn differently. They come from different backgrounds, and I worry every day how I'm going to best meet their needs. And so I have 24 students, so every day it's, what can I do for each of them? And sometimes, that takes a lot of work, but it's also what I enjoy most about it, that every day is different and that every child is different, and I'm just helping them with what they need and doing my best to do that. But it can definitely be a challenge thinking about what 24 people need every single day. Yep.
Can you tell about your degrees? Basically, just kind of formal question. Your degree.
yeah, so again, thinking I was going into business, I got a business management bachelor's from the University of Oregon. And then after that, when I got into teaching, I got my teaching credential from National Hispanic University in East San Jose, and then my master's degree from San Jose State in school administration.
Okay, thank you. And Samantha?
I graduated from San Jose State with a degree in studio art, thinking I would become an art teacher, but then I decided to, have a little more broader options. So I got my teaching credential through Cal State Teach through Monterey Bay. And then currently I just began my first semester in grad school at CSU Fresno. So getting my master's in teaching.
Yeah.
While being a student in your universities, do you have some interesting memories of your student life that you can share? Something that comes to your mind?
That's a hard question. I mean, I have a lot of memories from school. I think for me, it's studying abroad in Europe, being an art major, being able to create art all day and then go visit all these amazing famous museums in London. And I spent some time in Prague and Berlin and Vienna, and just being able to go to all these museums and actually see in person all the artwork from my textbooks and then get to see it in person was one of my most favorite experiences from my college career.
Wonderful. So you had a chance to travel.
Yes,
while being
I
in
recommend
school.
that for all students is, study abroad somewhere that, inspires you, whatever field you're in. And that was a dream of mine to always be able to travel to London especially, and I got to do that. So it was great.
Great. And you, Brian?
Yeah, I had great experiences in college. I found middle school and high school to be real difficult, and just socially managing that. And so when I got to college and lived in the dorms and started to build friends and connections with people that I had no knowledge of or didn't know at all before, it just gave me great confidence and just gave me a sense of I can do whatever I want. I can sort of shape my own life, and I think that was one of my great memories of college, was just that sense of freedom to kind of become who I wanted to be, not kind of just living off of all of my past, everything that brought me to that point. And so that was exciting and real fun for me to try new things and experiment a little bit.
Great.
With different things.
I know that you have such a great tradition in your school, like morning lunch. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Certainly. At Rosemary, we have a daily morning assembly, and we call it our morning lunch. We're the Rosemary Rockets, so we call it our morning lunch, and it's a chance for all of our students. We have 510 students, so all of our students come together at the very beginning of the day and stand in sort of a semicircle around an area where myself and a student or two students help me with just kind of a motivational beginning to the day. And so we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we do a little chant about our behavior expectations of be responsible and be respectful and be caring at our school. And then we have some exercises, and it might be a song, or it might be a little dance, or just some exercises. And then we follow that with just a 2-minute talk that I give, tied to some theme. It might be persistence, or it might be never giving up, I guess, which is persistence, or it might be looking for difficult work, or honoring mistakes, or all the different things that go into sort of developing the growth mindset that we talked about before. Then we recognize a few students for things that they've done, for maybe behavioral things or attendance, and then we're done. The whole event lasts 7 minutes, and we're done, and students are off to their classrooms, and even though it takes a little bit of instructional time out of our day, it creates a school-wide language, and so we're all talking the same language when it comes to what our expectations are at Rosemary.
Great. Samantha, how many years of teaching experience do you have?
This is my 3rd year teaching kindergarten. Prior to that, though, I taught for many years while I was in college. I mostly taught after school and during the summer. I directed an art and science camp in Santa Cruz for many years, and I taught most of the art curriculum there. And then after school programs, I did a lot of art as well. So I would include that in my teaching years. So if I included that, it would be like 15 years of teaching in different capacities.
So teaching kindergarten, what do you enjoy the most?
I think I like the curriculum. I think it's fun. I think I love teaching kids how to read, and I think I'd always want to teach maybe kindergarten or 1st grade, because I love helping to establish those foundational skills in reading, and just their personality. They're so excited to learn, and they just have the funniest things they say, and it makes me excited to go to work every day, getting to spend time with them.
Great. Yeah. Let's talk about your parents, how they were supportive in your path, in your career, in your life, basically. Brian, can you talk about your parents?
Yeah, so my parents were clearly my first teachers. They shaped me in so many ways. My dad was an extremely hard worker and really taught me the idea of delayed gratification, of first I do what I have to do, then I do what I want to do, that I really need to commit fully to doing the hard things first. And I talked to the kids about that. I talked to the kids about eating my peas first, and how I would have to, if I was going to get dessert at a meal, I had to clean my plate, and the hardest thing for me to eat was the vegetables, so I'd always eat my peas first, just because I'd get that out of the way and the rest of the meal was easy. My parents taught me a lot about delayed gratification and hard work. My mom really was very conscious of the fact that hard work can change your life, and if you work hard, you can do whatever you want to do, but you have to be committed to doing the work. And so she would always remind us and really build us up and say, you can do that, you can do that. Nothing was beyond she believed in us a lot more than we believed in ourselves, I guess, and so that was really a powerful thing. So to have a dad that just sort of talked about hard work, and my mom about sort of doing the hard things first, and my mom kind of always pushing and saying, yes, you can, giving us confidence. So those are real big messages. And the other message that I always share with the kids every day, that sort of the secret to success is treating people right. And I think my parents really lived that example and always showed us how to treat people with respect, and no matter who they were, and to always do what you can to sort of build other people up. And so that was another great lesson from my parents.
Do you remember maybe like the most important lesson that you learned from your parent, maybe one phrase that you kind of carry for all your life? Do you have?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same things that I tell the kids every morning at our lunch. I think the most important thing to move forward in life is hard work, and so I would say, and then the secret to real success and happiness is treat people right. And I think those are the two messages. And we say that to the kids, or they chant that back to me every day. But I think those really are the key messages I got from my parents growing up. Is that work hard and treat people right.
Wow, that's great. What about you, Samantha? What did you learn from your parents?
How
they were supportive?
My parents were very supportive. They're both very hardworking. My dad is a contractor and built houses, and my mom was a bookkeeper, and they both worked long hours. But they're really supportive of anything that I wanted to try or do. So I grew up, taking art, taking cooking classes, doing sailing lessons, going to golfing lessons, like anything I wanted to try. They're really supportive, and even being an art major, they never said, oh, you'll never make money doing that. They were always like, do what makes you happy. And they knew art made me happy, and they were always there for me, which was great.
Brian, in your opinion, what's the secret of success? You kind of already mentioned, but maybe something else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to kind of keep going to the same themes, but yeah, I would say it's the way we treat people really matters, and no matter who that person is. And I think to in my position now as a principal, I have to support the teachers. I have to support great teachers like Ms. Elliott, and I have to do whatever it is that she feels like she needs from me, from the school, in order for her to be successful with the kids. And so much of my effort at the school is just trying to treat the teachers right, to listen to them, find out what they feel like their needs are in order to be successful. It's the same thing in interacting with the kids, the same thing in interacting with the parents. Just everybody, when you say treat people right, it's a very relative thing. It's different for everybody. But what does it mean for me to treat you right, or to treat a child right, or to treat someone else right, and whether they treat me right or not? I think that it's a real secret to success and winning people over and influencing your environment is how you treat other people.
Samantha, what do you think? Secret of success in your opinion?
My opinion is being consistent. I feel like, being consistent, whether it's, your job performance or in how you communicate to other people you work with, just, doing your best every single day. I feel like, I'm a consistent person, and that would be my secret.
Sounds good. What would you recommend to our viewing audience on pursuing dreams? That's kind of a big subject also in our program.
Yeah, I would say just to not give up on your dreams, and also I guess it's sort of a two-sided thing too. Like me, my dreams changed, right? But being consistent to who I am, as Ms. Elliott was saying, being consistent to who I am hasn't changed, right? And so my dream at one point was to serve others by helping them find the right home, and though I changed that, as I went for a period of time where I was supporting developmentally disabled adults, and then I became a teacher, and it was all really very consistent to me. It's a matter of sort of sensing that my dream isn't necessarily a specific profession that I'm in, but it's a way of being. It's a way of living my life. And so for me, for me to live that dream and to reach that dream, the way it looks or the specifics of it might change, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up on my dream. The fact that I went from real estate to working with the disabled to working in Costa Rica to working here as a professional educator, it's all the same dream. And so just kind of understanding how that develops over time, but not giving up on that desire to be myself and to serve other, support other people.
Okay, thank you. And what do you think, Samantha?
I think it would be just to try. I tell my students every day that, I'll be disappointed if you don't just try it. It's okay if you fail. It's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay if it takes you 5 tries, as long as you try. So to follow your dream is just try it out, and maybe, your dreams will change depending on, how you try it out and what you like about it or don't. But, I think you'll just regret if you don't try to follow your dream. And it's okay if you fail. It's okay if your dream changes along the way. But the first thing is just to try it out.
Interesting.
That's good.
Is it anything else that you would like to say to inspire our viewing audience? Maybe something else that you would like to share?
Well, one of the things we've talked about recently at our morning launch is that idea that it's okay, when we want to tell our kids it's okay not to know, not to have the right answer, but it's not okay not to try. And so anything that whenever you're faced with a situation, you have to always give it an effort. Just give it a try. And the expectation is when you come to school that you're not going to know. If you already knew it, we have another little chant. We say, easy work is not enough. To grow my brain needs work that's tough. And the same old brain work just won't do. To grow my brain needs work that's new and different. And so if we're just putting ourselves in situations where we're just doing what we know and what we're comfortable with, we're not going to grow. And so it's okay not to know the answer and not to be able to do something the first time, but it's not okay not to try. We all have to try. We have to step out of our comfort and try new things.
What about you, Samantha?
Well, when I think of following your dream, I think of doing something that makes you happy. So I would just tell everyone who's watching
Great.
that do what makes you feel happy, and and again, try it. I'm doing what I'm doing because I find it happy to be teaching, and I hope other people do that too.
What about some kind of project that you have in mind, maybe like for the future, that you would want to accomplish? Something maybe would want.
Oh, I would say I still think I want to write a book someday. And so that's in my head, and I don't know if it'll be a book about education or it'll be a novel or what it will be, but I think that's still a dream that I've had since high school or even before that I think I got to figure out a way to make that happen.
What would be the book about?
So, I don't know. It could be, maybe it'll be a Charles Dickens type novel, or maybe it'll be a book about how to do the morning lunch. I don't know. So it
That
could
would
be.
be interesting
Yeah,
about
that's
morning
good.
lunch, because you say so many words of wisdom there.
So
Like,
it could
yeah.
be lots of different things, but I still haven't dropped that dream. So we'll see.
What
where
about
that
you,
comes.
Samantha? Any kind of project?
I had so much support at Rosemary Elementary as a new teacher, and I'm currently helping one of our new teachers that I think in a couple years, once I've honed my craft as a teacher more, that I'd want to help new teachers out and maybe be
Good.
part of the new teacher programs at our district.
You'd be
So
good
yeah.
at that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Brian, Samantha, thank you very much for coming to our program. It was a great experience to have you here today. Christina, Sophia, thank you very much for being part of the program, and thank you very much for watching us. It All Starts with a Dream talk show, and me, Alika Karpova. See you next time. Thank you.
Bye.